In this video, I'll be breaking down the most important metric to track in your Amazon vendor account and why most Amazon vendors don't even know what this metric means. If you are new here, my name is Benjamin Bolshinsky. I used to work at Amazon in the vendor management team for almost 3 years, and now I run a company called Vendor Launch, where we work exclusively with Amazon vendors to increase their purchase orders. And so, without further ado, this metric is what we call the confirmation rate. What is the confirmation rate? So, confirmation rate is defined as the percentage of Amazon's purchase orders that you actually supply. For example, say Amazon orders $100,000 of stock from you last week, and you've shipped 75,000. So you've confirmed in the purchase orders 75k worth of stock that week. In this example, this means you have a 75% confirmation rate. In other words, it's the quantity you've confirmed over the total amount that Amazon has requested for your purchase orders. You can track this on a weekly basis, on a PO basis, on a quarterly basis, doesn't matter. But it's really just telling you how much of Amazon's demand you're actually fulfilling to them. So that's what it means. Now, why is this so important? So, to summarize, confirmation rate is a leading indicator of your total Amazon sales. Now, the thing is, you have to understand that Amazon holds around 4 weeks worth of stock at any given time for each of your products, as a ballpark average figure, 4 weeks worth. Now, this is far less than other retailers that you might be supplying, like Woolworths, like Walmart, Tesco. These brick and mortar traditional retailers typically hold more stock than Amazon. Amazon holds less. Now, this means that if your confirmation rate severely drops on a given week, then you can expect your overall sales to reflect this drop in around 4 weeks, right? Because if you've confirmed only 75% of orders in this week, week 0, and Amazon holds around 4 weeks worth of stock on hand, right? So it'll take them around 4 weeks to sell through their current inventory. And then on week 5, that's when they'll start selling today's inventory that you've confirmed, right? Which, if your confirmation rate has decreased this week, might only be 50%, whatever it is, right? So knowing this, you can use your confirmation rate as a leading indicator of where your Amazon vendor account is going in roughly 4 weeks, right? So confirmation rate drops this week, say by half, then you can expect sales to drop in 4 weeks by half. It is a leading indicator of where your Amazon vendor account is going. That's why it's the most important metric there is. And after all, Amazon can only sell stock they have. If you don't supply Amazon with enough stock, they will not sell it. They can't sell more than they have. That's why confirmation rate is so critically important. It is the most important metric that when I worked at Amazon we used to track, and is the most important metric that we now track with our clients at Vendor Launch. In fact, we have a dashboard, a weekly dashboard for every client, and we use this dashboard to look at their confirmation rate every week. Amazon usually orders every week, once a week, so we track that on a weekly basis for our clients, and we're meticulous about any changes, any increases or decreases to that confirmation rate. The most important metric by far. And so now you might be asking, well, Benjamin, this is all nice and great, makes sense, but what should this confirmation rate be? What should we be aiming for? And that's a very good question. Now, the simple answer is that the higher the better. The higher your confirmation rate, the better. Ideally, 100%. Now, we're realistic here on this channel, and with the clients that we work with, we are realistic, transparent, and upfront. And there's no supply in the world which has a 100% confirmation rate. Out of stocks happen, right? If you're manufacturing any product, if you're buying any physical product, you're going to have, issues with supply. You're going to have issues with confirming rate, supply chain, with other retailers. So confirmation rate realistically won't be 100%. Having said that, the higher the better. So we say you should be aiming for at least a 90% confirmation rate. Ideally 95%. That would be a realistic target for your account. Now, if you're a distributor, generally you might have a bit less control over your inventory and over manufacturing, over raw materials. So there might be a bit of a slightly lower confirmation rate. But in all cases, the higher the confirmation rate, the better. And the thing is, if you don't supply Amazon with a sufficient confirmation rate, Amazon will go out of stock. And Amazon being out of stock is the worst thing that can happen in your vendor account. It is more punishing on sales to be out of stock with Amazon compared to other physical retailers. And it is for that reason, to be honest, you should probably be prioritizing Amazon in terms of your inventory compared to physical retailers, right? Because with physical retailers, if you're out of stock, you're back in stock next week, and your position in that store, in the retailer's physical store, doesn't really change, right? Your shelf space is more or less the same, right? Customers will go back towards that shelf where your products normally sit, and they will find your products all the same. But on Amazon, if you become out of stock, your product ranking decreases, right? Instead of being in page 1, you are now page 5, right? All of that advertising spend that you've invested in improving your search ranking against particular keywords has now been thrown out in the bin, because now you're on page 5. So that's why you should avoid at all costs being out of stock on Amazon. And it is for this very reason that we have a forecast that we use for our clients at Vendor Launch, right? Having a proper forecast for your Amazon vendor channel is very important. For this reason, we use it. We have a proprietary custom-built forecast that we use with all of our clients at Vendor Launch, and that enables us to track how much purchase orders Amazon will request in the coming weeks, and it makes it a lot easier to supply Amazon with their requested inventory, and to ultimately grow your account, grow your purchase orders, and grow your sales. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll respond to them. Otherwise, we'll talk soon. Bye.